Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video covering the Pulsar Xlite V3 ES and the V3. Probably going to be a short video because it's a shape and a size I've already reviewed several times and my opinions haven't changed. It's still a contender for anybody's top Ergo mouse in terms of its size and overall shape. Now with the internals being upgraded to have a Nordic MCU, optical switches, that Pulsar Blue encoder, with the Pulsar Xlite V3 ES having that NXP chip with 4K wireless native and 8K wired and the included screen. You can see the main difference between the Xlite V3 and the ES is that screen, no cutouts on the ES versus cutouts on the V3, bringing the weight of the V3 to 55 grams on my copy and 65 grams on the Xlite V3 ES. Another main difference, of course, is the overall aesthetic and that scroll wheel being all aluminum on the Xlite V3 ES versus the rubber and plastic scroll wheel on the OG Xlite V3. The optical switches, the button implementation here across the board on both my copies is about the same. Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 are extremely well tensioned, with Mouse 1 having almost no pre or post travel, Mouse 2 having almost no pre or post travel, and almost no side flex at all. Probably one of the best tensionings on a mouse that I've had in the year of 2023, and unfortunately better tensioned than my main Ergo mouse, the Vaxee Outset AX. Main differences, of course, between the Vaxee Outset AX is the internals as well as the overall shape. The Outset just feeling like it was molded for my hand, and the Pulsar Xlite V3 feeling as though it's very, very close to a Zowie EC2 CW. I think Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 and that top shell being all in one on the Zowie compared to the Pulsar, you do feel a little bit of a difference where your fingers rest on Mouse 1 and Mouse 2, but overall the shape is exceptionally close. So Pulsar having the better internals and the better weight and weight balancing arguably could take the cake for anybody who is maining a Zowie EC2 CW. I do think that the screen on the bottom of the ES is very intuitive. You can change everything on this mouse, including the Hertz polling rate, your DPI. You see the battery life on the bottom of the mouse and your liftoff distance, as well as whether motion sync is on or off. I do feel as though that 10-gram differential, to me, it does not make any difference in my gameplay at all. If you are somebody who's pushing that lower weight, you might kind of go towards the Xlite V3 over the ES. But for me, that extra 10 grams, is it noticeable? You do feel it, but it's not something that is noticeable in my gameplay or my overall feel for the mouse. If I picked up both of these in the store, I'd probably, me personally, go for the ES because I like the included functions with the screen, not having to download drivers, and that all aluminum scroll wheel. To me, it just looks really nice. The difference in the scroll wheel with that Pulsar Blue encoder, both of them feel great, but these steps are more identifiable, more noticeable on the regular Xlite V3. But the steps on that aluminum scroll wheel feel really nice and identifiable. It's just smooth. It's like a difference of hydraulics in a car. You still feel that road, you still feel the bumps, but it's just smoother. That's kind of how I would fit that scroll wheel, which to me feels awesome and just looks really, really cool. Certainly something that if you're somebody who gets custom mice or paint jobs, kind of a cool touch with that accent, just looks really cool. And more premium looking than the regular Xlite V3. The only issue I had with build quality on either of these copies, in my opinion, is the pre and post travel on Mouse 4 and Mouse 5. Barely any pre-travel on both of these copies, but post-travel definitely present. Less present on my Xlite V3, more present on my ES version, with a little bit of side button wobble as well when you hit it in certain areas. Overall, though, there is, of course, always expected to be some variance in the tensioning of the overall buttons, but I do have to say that there is a bit more post-travel on my ES version. Would it affect me in game? Absolutely not. In terms of the coding and the weight balance, both of these copies feel very well weight balanced, with the Xlite V3 feeling a bit better weight balanced The ES feeling just a tad more weight near that backside where the screen is, but overall very well weight balanced and nothing that I would feel in game while whipping around the mouse, which is the most important thing when taking into consideration weight balance. Do I really feel it in motion? With the ES, I just don't. So overall, you've got a hell of a decision if you're on the market for an ergonomic mouse. You've got the Razer DeathAdder V3, you've got the Zowie mice, you have the Outset, the Pulsar Xlite V3, the Thorn. It's just going to boil down to your shape preferences, the features that you're looking for, and the Pulsar Xlite V3 ES is just feature packed with a beautiful accented scroll wheel, 4K native, 8K wired. Just a really nice, beautiful package that I am glad that I have a copy of and will definitely be my full-time backup mouse to my Vaxee Outset. Two awesome ergonomic mice, and again, your options at this point at the end of 2023 are just vast and plentiful. That Xlite V3 ES to me, though, just looks so cool with that accented scroll wheel. So guys, I hope it helped. That is really all I can mention about the Xlite V3. If you want to see some shape comparisons that I've made in the past, you can look at my Xlite V2 video, my OG Xlite video. There's really not anything that's going to change in terms of those shape and size comparisons because it does carry over with the same dimensions from the Xlite V2. Awesome mouse from Pulsar, another awesome option, upgrading those internals to recent standards with that Nordic MCU, optical switches. Everything just feels really nicely done on both of my copies of the Xlite V3. Hope it helped, guys. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.
Volur, bak. Two down.